Yeah, got here quicker, eh? Candy's dandy, but
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we're in Treaty 1 territory in the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. Our panel today is chaired by Linda McFadden, and on my far left, Marcel Laurendo and Harvey Diamond. Our secretary today is Katie Sutherland, and our assessor is Stephen Lovenstein. We could begin with 16 Maisonade Road. When you're ready. Oh, I forgot to do the rest of the statement. Sorry. He told me I only had to do the beginning, remember? We'll be hearing applications for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we'll limit discussion to those matters. The statements that applicants or the assessor make at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by Council and is independent of it and the City Administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the Board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of Queen's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the Board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the matters to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony, followed by questions that the other applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the Board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive an order by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. And would you swear everyone in, please?
Certainly. And I got the Bible, so everybody will have to, if that's okay. Okay, so please state your name. Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? State your name. Do you affirm that the evidence you're about to present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
When you're ready to go, Mr. Lovenstein?
Sure. Okay. The roll number is 06-053-07-4300, 16 Maisonade Road. The assessed value is $5,600,000. As you can see, it's a split class. There's 40 institutional, so it's school tax exempt for a portion of it, and the other one is 60 taxable. Further down the property description, there are 8 premises to this property. The effective year and the actual year built are 1998 with a wall height of 26 feet. The construction class is masonry and the zoning is M2. The land area is 96,988 square feet. And there's a plan area of 41,324 square feet, a gross floor area of 50,316 square feet, and the leasable area of 48,682. The discrepancies there are because there is an upstairs portion to this property, and the land to plan area is 2.35. So we'll take a look at the property on page 9. You can see it's located on Maisonade Road. It's in the St. Boniface Industrial Park, just off Dougal. This property has very good access to Dougal, as it's pretty much right on the corner of Dougal to Maisonade Road. It also has very good visibility because of that. So if you look to page 10, you can see the aerial view. You can see where Dougal Road is and Maisonade Road and where the property is located. And further down, you can get another view. This property has very good access off Mazenod and access off Debate Street to the back for the trucks. Page 11, you can see some trucks backed in, so there is some grade level and there is above grade level loading for this property. And that would be on page 11. So page 3 would be the rent comparables. For the rent comparables, I broke them up in terms of how we're looking at the premises and how the premises are broken up. So they are broken up between 4,575 square feet all the way up to 9,000 square feet. The rents range from $7 a square foot all the way up to $7.95 a square foot. The effective years built range from 1980 all the way up to 1990, and the wall heights range from 18 feet all the way up to 24 feet. If you look at the addresses, they're the Terracon Place, Bajan, a few more on Terracon, Durand, Candleside, and Terracon. These are all within very close proximity to the subject property. Some of them are right in the St. Boniface Industrial Park. Some of them are just outside of it, off Dugald. So turning to page 4 and page 5, these are the two income streams. The second income stream on page 5 is the one that deals with the 40 institutional. It is a Work and Social Opportunities Inc., so they are classified for the school exempt. And so page 4 has the rents in place. They range from $7.23 all the way up to $7.37 a square foot, for a potential rent of $313,176. The vacancy, we have applied 2.5%. We've applied our 2% expenses, which I'll just direct you again to the page 17 for our non-recoverable expense sampling, which show that 2% is adequate. And then we have an overall capitalization rate of 6%. The 6% capitalization rate is pretty much due to the fact that it was built in 1998. It's in a good location. It's a fairly new building. It has good rent potential, obviously being a multi-tenanted building. So 6% we feel is adequate for this property. So that being said, when you apply the 6% capitalization rate to the net operating income, for the income stream on page 4, you get a value of $4,920,000. And then on page 5, it's the same thing, the 2.5% vacancy, the 2% expenses, and the 6% capitalization rate. When you apply that to the net operating income, you get a value of $680,000. And that will give us our total on page 6. You can see the total, the two income streams put together, for $5,600,000. So I'd also like to point out that there is a mailer on page 12 and 13. 12 shows the tenant roster and where they're located in there. And 13, although some of it is difficult to read, 13 is the mailer that they've supplied to us, very fine print. Page 13, 14, and 15. So we feel the value of this property at $5,600,000 is fair and equitable and should be confirmed. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions?
Just a couple. On page 5,
Mm-hmm.
well, actually, let's go to page 4, because that's the main part there. So your overall rent is $732 per square foot, and a 2.5% vacancy. Is that standard for this area?
Yeah, that would be our model vacancy. Yeah.
And the cap rate is model driven as well?
As well.
If I look on your page 7, under industrial,
Yep.
we've got under City of Winnipeg, April 1 to 18, 20th percentile and 80th percentile.
Mm-hmm.
It starts at 6.34 and goes as high as 7.8.
Correct.
And the next one, Colliers, is 6.5 to 7.25. And then CBRE has one industrial A at 6 to 6.5, but most of them are 6.5 and up. Is there a reason why 6% was picked?
I think the model generated a 6% cap rate due to the fact that it is a 1998 build. It is in a good location, and like I talked about, it's pretty much on the end of Dugald and a The Mazin also has very good access. These would be all the reasons why.
Isn't St. Lawrence Industrial Park one of the parks, the industrial areas that has the highest vacancy rates, according to Croach, et cetera?
I'm not sure. According to, sorry, who?
Johnson
Oh,
report. It used to be Croach.
Oh, okay. I don't believe it is one of the highest. I actually have the Johnson report with me if you want to.
I have parts of it in my,
Okay, well, I guess we can deal with that then. But no, I feel 2.5 vacancy for this type of building, for a 1998 build, multi-tenanted, yeah, I feel that is fair and accurate.
okay, it did have some vacancy problems, though, correct?
Like many of these buildings, they do have some vacancy at times, but they also do fill them up fairly quickly as well. So I wouldn't say it's chronic vacancy.
Okay, that's all the questions I have.
Any questions, Mr. Lorendo?
Just one on the vacancy. What was the previous vacancy rate on these buildings last year?
I don't have the previous vacancy rate on this building. I just have
Okay,
it's model
maybe-
driven this time.
It was model driven then, too.
Vacancies do fluctuate at times, and as we can see this time, it's gone down.
No question.
And I have no further questions, so if you'd like to proceed, Mr. Becker.
Okay, if I could start on page 6. We're not contesting the assessor's rent at all, based on the actual rent roll, the 732 is fair in our mind. Now, for the vacancy, it's in the middle of page 6. Assessor has applied a vacancy allowance of 2.5 for the subject. For the 2018 assessment, the assessor applied 4.0% vacancy. For the subject, unit number 7 vacated their space in May of 17, and as of April 1, 18, the space was still vacant. As of April 1, 17, unit 7 and 8 were vacant, which calculates to 26.8% vacancy. As of April 1, 2018, unit 7 was still vacant, which calculates to 11.5. Unit number 8 did fill up. Based on our year-end report, year-end Johnson report, vacancy rates for investment-grade industrial properties was at 6.7%. For our valuation, we're using 6.5%. So that's where we differ from the assessor. We're agreeing with the red, but we do have a higher vacancy at 6.5. We're agreeing with the $3.75 for shortfall. We're using 7% for non-recoverables. And then for the capitalization rate, on page 7, capitalization, the property has been assessed with a capitalization rate of only 6.0%. We would refer to the board. I have our capitalization rate study. I'm not sure if that came over or not with everything.
I believe so.
Yeah. I can ask just the board to turn to it for a second. I just wanted to point out a couple of things. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I just want to point out a couple. First of all, our capitalization report deals with vacancy and it also deals with the capitalization rate. But on page 8, this is a start of a vacancy report, and these are some issues that we've taken out of the Johnson report. And you'll see that for Winnipeg at the end of 2017, this is at the bottom of page 8. Overall, it was 3% vacancy for the city in 17. And then if you look at the next page, I'm just going to quickly read through this. The second paragraph, the investment property inventory comprises approximately 27.3 million square feet contained in both single and multi-tenant buildings, most of which is situated within a number of industrial parks summarized below. And in the east, it's the St. Boniface Industrial Park. So out of the 27.3 million square feet of investment inventory, single-tenant buildings account for 9.4 million square feet, or 35%, and multi-tenant properties account for 17.8 million square feet, or 65%. Investment vacancy rates for single and multi-tenancy buildings vary quite dramatically. Vacancy rates for single-tenancy buildings were lower than for multi until 2015, when the trend reversed, with single-tenancy buildings experienced the higher vacancy rates. The single-tenancy vacancy rates in a given district can jump dramatically when one or two large buildings becomes vacant in 1 year. So there's two tables there. The year end for single tenant at the end of 17 was 8.7%, and the year end industrial for multi-tenant at the end of 17 was 6.7. As evidenced in the table above, the city overall experienced single tenant investment vacancy rates from 3.1 to 8.7, and multi-tenant investment rates from 5.8 to 8.4 as of December 17. So based on that, we're suggesting that for the subject, because it did actually suffer some vacancy, that 6.5% would be the correct rate. And then if I could ask the board to turn to page 13. This is where we have a little table at the bottom where it's got our cap rate, our range based on our studies. Investment category A, as Mr. Lobenstein said, this is a 1998 building. It's in good shape. Cap rate would range between 6.25 and 7. And so for our valuation, if I could ask the board to go back to page 7. Based on the assessment department's rent, a 6.5% vacancy, 7% non-recoverables, and a 6.5% cap rate, we're suggesting a value of $4,586,000 rounded. So the main differences are the vacancy rate and the capitalization rate. And that's my presentation.
All right, questions, Mr. Lovin?
Just a few. So, for your vacancy, you referenced the Johnson report. And is that how you came up with your vacancy numbers?
No, for the subject, I actually came up with a 6.5 based on the actuals.
Based on the actuals, but you're using the Johnson report for supporting evidence?
It's part of our capitalization rate,
Okay.
and it'll come up in other,
So you're using 6.5% because of vacancy of May of 2017 and April 1st of 2017? As of within unit 7 and 8 were vacant April 1st, 2017, and
yeah.
unit 7, May 2017. So that's just normal standard vacancy that's not chronic. Would that be considered market then?
But it's 5,600 square feet still vacant, like as of April 18th, so that's more than 10% of the building.
Sure, but that's barely a year of vacancy. It's pretty standard for properties, would you not agree?
Not 10%, I don't think. I guess it depends on the unit size, depending on the buildings. If there's smaller units, then it wouldn't, if there was one unit vacant, it wouldn't be that high a percentage.
And then another question, so you came with a 6.5% capitalization rate, so you consider this a good investment property at 6.5% when you look at your page 13 of your cap rate study. So, actually, you know what, I have no questions on that.
Mr. Laurendale?
No questions.
No questions, and I have no further questions. Moving on to 214 debates, and we're looking at assessed values. Are you ready?
Yeah, just give me a second. Roll number is 06-053094500, 214 Debate Street. The assessed value is $3,496,000. There's 5 premises in this building. The effective year and the actual year built are 1988. The wall height's 22 feet. The zoning's M2. Excuse me. And the land area is 116,759 square feet. It has a plan area of 39,551 square feet. It's the same gross floor area, but the leasable area is a little higher at 39,808 square feet because there is a portion of it that does have a second floor or mezzanine space. And the land area is 2.95. So we'll turn to page. Let's turn to page 8, and we can take a look at the where it's located. It's again in the St. Boniface Industrial Park. It's just off Beige End, which is off Dugald. You can take a look on page 8 and lower down and see the property from the street view portion of it. And then, of course, page 9 has the aerial view of the property. You can see where the trucks can access it from 3 different points on Paquin and on Debate Street, to the rear of the property and to the front of the property. And page 11 will just give you another sort of aerial view of the property. You can see at the bottom of page 10, there are grade level and above grade level loading for the property. So again, similar to the last one, I broke up the rents as to deal with the premises and the square footages. So we have leasable areas ranging from 6,000 square feet all the way up to almost 14,000 square feet. We have net rents ranging from $5.25 or $5.17 all the way up to $6.95. And the wall heights range from 20 feet or 18 feet all the way up to 26 feet. And the year builds range from 1981 or 1979 all the way up to 2000. Again, they're all located very close to the subject property. A lot of them are within the actual St. Boniface Industrial Park. Some are just outside of it on Dugald. So turning to page 4, you can see the workup. We have the 5 premises for a potential rent of $241,754. Again, we've applied our 2.5% vacancy or 2% expenses, and this time we've applied a 6.5% capitalization rate. Again, you can see that 6.5 capitalization rate on page 6 falls between the 20th and the 80th percentile. And then when you apply that to the net operating income, you get the $3,496,000. So again, turning to page 11, you can see sort of the rent roll and where the tenants are located in the property. And again, this looks like the same owner, so they've supplied a statement, but it's very small and very difficult to read. Page 15 is our capitalization rate evidence, and again, our non-recoverable sampling is on the last page. So we feel the assessed value of $3,496,000 is fair and equitable. Thank you.
Questions?
No, I don't have any questions, thank you.
Questions?
No questions?
No questions.
And I have no questions. Moving right along.
This one again is rent vacancy. This one's rent vacancy, non-recoverables, and cap rate. I could ask the board to turn to page 6. Under market rents in the middle, the assessors valued the property based on an overall blended net rent of $6.07 per square foot. The actual rents paid, you can see there, the 2 newest ones that were started in August of 17 are $6.15 and $5.95, and then there's 2 older ones. One from September of, sorry, the third one is from September of 15. It's for $5.75, and then another one in July of 17 for a larger space at $6. So basically, based on the actual leases in place, we're not far off from the assessor. We're suggesting an overall net rent of $6 per square foot. Based on the study that I read earlier, we don't feel that this property didn't have any vacancy problems itself. But as per the Johnson report, the vacancy rates for industrial properties have not been below 3% since 2014. And so for our valuation, we're going to use 4%. This is the same rate that was used for the 2018 valuation. Then the next page, page 7, the city is using a cap rate of 6.5. Cap rate of 7% was used in 18. We feel that there's been no compression in the capitalization rates between April 1, 16 and April 1, 18. Therefore, we're using 7%. This building is 10 years older than the last subject, so 30 years older as of the reference date. So on page 8, based on $6 a square foot, we come up with an annual income of $238,848. We then remove 4% for vacancy, 7% non-recoverable, $375 for shortfall, capped at 7%, we come up to a value of $2,961,000. And I'm open for questions.
Yeah, I just forgot to hand this out. This is just a rebuttal package. I'm not going to go through it for the 7%, but I have to hand it over. So.
We got stacks of those at
I
work.
know. We do too.
Thank you.
Just trying to get rid of them. that's
Yeah.
all.
Thanks.
Kimberly's.
I just have a few questions, so basically just one question here or so. In terms of the vacancy, again, you referenced the Johnson report. So the Johnson report only looks at investment type properties when it's decided its vacancy. Would you agree with that?
Well, it looks at single tenant too.
But they would consider that investment grade though.
I guess they could.
So, well, why, The reason why I state that is because on the Johnson report on page 27, they state that the investment segment accounts for 35% of the total inventory. Single-tenant buildings represent 35% of the inventory, while multi-tenant buildings account for 65% of the inventory. And then when you look at their actual inventory that they're showing, they say at the top that this is the investment industrial inventory. So they're only actually looking at 35% of the total inventory for industrial properties in the city of Winnipeg.
Well, I'm not sure, I have part of the Johnson report with me as well. And when he puts in the December investment vacancy rate by district, he has St. Boniface Park at 9.3.
And I understand that, but I guess the point I'm trying to make is that the Johnson report looks at a particular type of building, and that particular type of building only counts for 1/3 of the actual industrial gross floor area for the entire city of Winnipeg. So would you consider that accurate for vacancy? When we're looking at, when the city of Winnipeg has to look at it as a whole?
I guess if I look at St. Boniface Industrial Park, because it hasn't taken off, it's been there for a long time, and there's lots of vacant area in that, I think the 4% is fair. If I look at just for the investment properties in that park, the 4% is actually low. 1%, 35%, I guess that's, I'm not sure, I guess it all depends on the single tenant, right?
Okay, those are all my questions.
Mr. Gordon?
No questions.
No questions?
I have no questions. "36 Durand Road," we're looking at assessed value.
Okay, the roll number is 060530914000, 36 Durand Road. The assessed value is $1,549,000. Again, this one has 5 premises. The actual year build, effective year build is 1980, and the wall height is 18 feet. It has a land area of 55,088 square feet, gross floor area of 16,000, and a leasable area of 15,885 square feet, and the land to plan is 3.44. We'll take a quick look again at the property. This is also in the St. Boniface Industrial Park. It's very similar to the last property in some senses. You can see where it's located on Durand, just off Dougald and Beijing. Again, you can see the street view, and on page 9 you can see the overhead view and some side shots of the property. This one seems to all have grade level loading. There's no above grade, as you can see on page 10. So turning to page 3, you can see the rents. Again, they're on Beijing, Debates, Terracon, Kenoside, Debates, Turin, Marion, and Debates. So they're all very, very close to the subject property. They all range from $6 or $5.50 a square foot up to $6.95. They range from 1980 to 1999 for the year built, and the wall heights range from 11 feet all the way up to 22 feet. And the leased areas, again, I paired them with the premises, so they range from just over 1,500 to over 6,000 square feet. Page 4 will have the income workup. So again, potential gross rent of $106,942. We apply the 2.5 vacancy, the 2% expenses, and we apply the 6.5% capitalization rate to this property for a estimated value of $1,549,000. So page 11 shows the mailer. Again, you can see the rent roll and who's in there. And again, very small mailer they sent us, very difficult to read. That's on page 12 and 13. So we feel the assessed value of $1,549,000 is fair and equitable and should be confirmed. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions?
Just a couple of questions. This subject property had some vacancy issues as well?
It has, yeah, as shown on the rent roll here, I think it shows one of the, on page 11 it shows one of the units are vacant.
Okay, it's been vacant since August of 15.
Okay.
So out of the three buildings that we've dealt with here so far, 2 of them had vacancies and one did.
Yeah, again, for multi-tenant buildings, I don't think that's unusual. being vacant since August of 2015. Although it's a little longer than the last one in 2017, I still wouldn't consider that chronic vacancy yet.
Okay, so for 18, their vacancy was 4%. We got 5% for management, and it had a 7 cap. This year, they dropped the vacancy by 1.5%, removed the 5%, dropped the cap half a point.
Yep.
Okay, that's all my questions.
That's what we did.
Just making a point, I guess.
Stephen, you got any workups on why you dropped it?
Oh, why
Why you dropped the vacancy?
we dropped the
Have
vacancy?
you brought a workup that shows us how the model created this 2.5%
I do
vacancy?
not have a workup for you. No, I
Thank
do
you
not.
very much.
You're welcome.
Sit down. And I have no further questions. You go ahead.
Okay, again, this one's no issue on the rent. If we could turn to page 6. We've listed the tenants are actually in the building, and by using $6 on the vacant space, we come up with an overall of $670. So we're accepting the assessor's overall rent of $673. We are disputing the 2.5% vacancy for the subject. For 18, the subject was applied a 4% vacancy. Unit number 40, they vacated their space on August 15th, and as of April 1/18, the space was still vacant. Unit 40 calculates to 14.2% for almost 3 consecutive years. Based on year-end Johnson report, vacancy for investment-grade industrial properties was 6.7. For our valuation, we're using 6.5%. Page 7, we have 375 for shortfall, 7% for non-recoverables. Cap rate, as mentioned, is dropped from 7 to 6.5. We're suggesting that there is no compression and we're using 7%. So if I ask the board to turn to page 8, based on the assessor's overall income of $107,109, 6.5%
That was
vacancy.
yours, not his. You got 100 more square feet than he does.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I got 100 more square feet. Okay, based on 673 a square foot, we have an annual income of 107,109, 6.5% vacancy, 7% shortfall, 375 non-recoverables, and a 7% cap. We come up with a value of $1,275,000 rounded. And I'm open for questions.
Go ahead.
My only question's about your 7% cap rate. On page 13 of your capitalization report, you list 6 different cap rates. And all of them are under 7% except for the Slate portfolio, which we know, as we've seen, we've been through many times here, which isn't very reliable. So I'm just questioning how you came up with a 7% capitalization rate.
Basically, it was what was used last time, and we're saying there was no compression. So that's why we're using the 7%. I guess if you look at page 11 of ours too, based on CBRE and Colliers, it's kind of in, Colliers is suggesting for multi, 6.5 to 7.25. And CBRE doesn't have one in the multi, but they're suggesting anywhere from 6 to 7.75. Cushman is 6.5 to 7.75. CBRE is between 6 to 7.25. So we feel that the 7% fits.
So 6.5 would be accurate for this property as well then, according to the,
It would fit in that same range.
thank you.
The only thing is, the city's also got on their cap rate 5.5 to 9.8 or 6.34 to 7.8. So
Is that a question to me?
I guess the question to you is, why are you ending up on this building, which was in 1980, at the low end of your scale?
Well, it's a 1980 on the low end of our scale, 6.5 falls between our 20th and our 80th percentile, so it's not on the low end of our scale. That's the whole point. The city of Winnipeg has to look at all properties. We don't just look at what they decide is investment grade. So we look at all properties that sell.
What's the middle of 6.3 and 7.80?
What's in the middle?
What's the middle of 6.3 and 7.80? A 7.80, yeah.
So you want like, it's just,
Yeah.
you're saying 7.
Well, you said it was in the middle of it. It doesn't look like it's in the middle of it. Not with my math, anyway. The cap rate that you chose of 6.5 is not in between 6.3 and 7.8. It's not in the middle of it. It's to the lower end of it.
6.3 to 7.8, it's within the range of the 20th.
It's in the range. It's in the lower range, though, is what I'm saying.
That's fine, but it's not in the lower range of our overall. We do a 5.5, and we have as high as 9.8.
But you got as high as 5.5 to 9.8.
That's right. So we feel that this building deserves a 6.5 due to its attributes.
And I won't ask for a workout. Because you won't have it, right?
I do not have a word.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Diamond?
No questions.
I have no questions. Would you like to go ahead? Are we finished? All right, you asked the questions of the wrong people. I'm easily confused.
I'm sorry.
All right,
It was a follow-up.
so we're moving on to 45 Big N. And its assessed value.
The roll number is 0605307650 45 Beijing Avenue. The assessed value is $4,247,000. Going to the number of premises is 7. The actual year and the effective year built are 1990. The wall height's 24, and the zoning's M2. The land area is 134,282 square feet. The plan area is 43,056 square feet. It's the same as the gross floor area. The leasable area is a little more due to a second floor portion at 43,164 square feet. Take a look at the property. Again, it's in the St. Boniface Industrial Park. You can see that on page 8. You get a street view on the bottom of page 8 of the property and the overhead look on page 9. And you can see at the back it's got some grade level and above grade level loading as well. So again, I broke up the leasable areas to look at the premises that we have for them, and they range from $6 a square foot all the way up to $7.03 a square foot. The effective years built range from 1979 all the way up to 2000, and the average wall heights range from 16 feet all the way up to 26 feet. And again, they're very close to in proximity to the subject property on Debates and Terracon and Durand and Beijing. So, turning to page 4, we have the potential rent of $293,125. We have the 2.5% vacancy at 2% expenses and a 6.5% capitalization rate. Again, the capitalization rate falls between the 20th and the 80th percentile, so that would be on page 6. So when you apply that to our net operating income, you get the value of $4,247,000. Again, page 11 shows the rent roll and where the tenants are located in the property, and the mailers on page 12 and 13. So we feel the value at $4,247,000 is fair and equitable. Thank you.
I have no questions.
No, I'm done asking.
No questions, and I have no questions. Moving right along.
Okay, if I could ask the board to turn to page 6. I'll start at the top. Assessors applied a net market rent of $293,125, which works out to $6.79 per square foot. Below, you see the rent roll there. The actual average works out to $6.84. So we've used the actual in place, so we're roughly $2,200 higher than the assessor. For vacancy, again, the city has applied 2.5% for the subject. But we just gave a little bit of the history for the subject. It was 28.5% in 14, 0 in 15, 11.3 in 16, 0 in 17, and 0 in 18. And again, we're gonna, based on our report, we're gonna use a 4% vacancy for this one. 375 for shortfall, 7% for non-recoverables. Now, under the capitalization rate here, I have the assessor has applied 6.5. Now, in our last, for the 18, when we appealed this to the Board of Revision, the board ordered a reduction based on 7.25%. But based on the age of the subject, et cetera, I'm suggesting a rate of 7. That's similar to the other ones we've heard. So on page 8, I'd like to change that value. Instead of having a value of $3,548,000 rounded, I'm suggesting that it should be capped at 7%, instead of 7.25, for a value of $3,675,000. So based on our rent, 4% vacancy, 7% non-recoverable, 375 for shortfall, and a 7% cap rate, I'm suggesting $3,675,000. And that's my submission.
Question, Mr. Robinson.
No, I have no questions.
Mr. Lorendo.
No questions.
Mr. Diamond.
No questions.
And I have no questions. Uh, 925 Lajimodiere, and it's assessed to value. Please go ahead.
There's the issue of non-compliance on this one as well.
I see that. All right, please go ahead.
Okay, deal with the issue. So I guess I'll do the roll number 0605021250, 925 Archimony Boulevard. So the issue of non-compliance. If you turn to page 12 and 13, you can see that on page 12, the mailer was sent out on June 8th, 2018. You can see that on the envelope at the bottom. And then you can see on page 13, it was filled out June 3rd, 2019, pretty much a whole year later, and the city received it on June 24th, 2019. So this, although they did complete the mailer and sending it in a year late would be considered non-compliant. So that's why we're seeking the penalty.
We have to agree.
Okay. Panel has no
This was a
questions.
2018?
Yeah, it's for the 2017 year. We sent it out to get the 2017. They didn't return it until 2019, even though we wanted it back. in
2018.
No, it was 2019 they returned it. So the 2017 year, we wanted the information for the 2017 year. So we sent out the mailer in 2018, and then we didn't get it back until 2019. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. So,
I'll go first.
go with you.
Okay, if I can ask the board to turn to page 2. This is Enns Brothers on Lajimodiere. The roll number is 0605021250. Property was built in 1985. There's a gross floor area of 49,496,000 square feet. Current assessment is $4,170,000, and we're requesting a 2020 assessment of $3,574,000. Page 3 at the top is a picture of the site plan, and at the bottom of page 3 is where the property is located. They sell snowmobiles, pontoon boats, etc. at this location. Page 4, property description. The subject property is a one-story industrial warehouse building located on the east side of Lajimodiere Boulevard, south of Dugald Road. The improvements were constructed in 1984 and 1990 with a gross building area of 50,074 square feet. In 1984, they built the metal frame, which had a main area of 30,600 square feet and 9,474 4 square feet of mezzanine. And then in 1990, they added an additional 10,000 square feet. Subject site is rectangular in shape with a total site size according to the Assessment Taxation Department of approximately 4.8 acres with M2 industrial zoning. The land to building ratio is approximately 1.1 to 5.15. Ask the board to turn to page 6. The assessor has applied a net market rent of $288,562 in valuing the subject, which appears to be based upon a net rental rate of approximately $5.83 per square foot applied to the gross building. The lease in place is non-arm's length, therefore market research for comparable rents was undertaken and the following comparisons were found. We have 7 comparisons here. We have an average of $5.49 and a median of $5.25. Based on the above, we are accepting the assessor's overall rent of $5.83 per square foot. Vacancy, again, we were asking for 4% as opposed to the 2.5% used in the assessor's model. 375 for shortfall, 7% for non-recoverables. And then on page 7, subject has been assessed with a capitalization rate of only 6.5. We would also refer the board to the Altus Industrial Cap Rate Study for industrial properties, which is filed in support of our request. With reference to the Altus study, we submit that a capitalization rate of 7% should be applied in this case. And that's the same rate that was used in 18, and therefore we're suggesting there's no compression. And we're asking for a value of $3,574,000. And I'm open to questions.
I have no questions.
No question.
No questions?
Any questions? Still over the same. Go ahead.
The address is, or the roll number is 060502 12500 925 Lachimodian Boulevard, with assessed value of $4,170,000. The years built is are between 1984 and 1990, so we have an effective year built of 1985 for this building. It's metal frame, it's M2 zoning, and the plan area is 40,600 square feet. The gross floor area is over 50,740 square feet, and we're using a leasable area of 49,496 square feet. The discrepancy between the plan area and the gross floor area is the mezzanine space at 9,474, as we already alluded to. There was a sale, it shows on page 2, an older sale in 2008 for a 2.65 or 2.650 million. The rent comparables are on page 3. They're all fairly close to the subject property. Some are a little further out on Hutchings and Bannister and Lowson. And looking at page 4, you can see our workout at $5.83. We get a potential rent of $288,582. Again, we're applying our 2.5% vacancy or 2% expenses and our 6.5% capitalization rate for an estimated value of $4,170,000. On page 6, you can see the capitalization rate falls between the 20th and the 80th percentile. And just some pictures on page 8 shows the location of the property on Lagimodier near Dugald. It's got a pretty good land to building ratio due to the type of facility they need there, where they're selling their boats, their quads, their snowmobiles. And it's got some nice overhead doors. You can see that on page 9 on the side and on the rear of the property on page 11. So we feel that the value for this property at $4,170,000 should be should stay the way it is and should be confirmed. Thank you.
Just one question. It's almost similar to a retail warehouse, isn't it?
A retail warehouse. Oh, there's a retail function that's part of this, yes, because they do sell
Boats and quads.
boats and quads and things like that. Yeah.
Okay. No, I have no other questions.
No.
No questions?
No question. Okay, 1865 Sargent, we're looking at assessed value.
So the roll number is 070225455500. 1865 Sargent Avenue with an assessed value of $4,840,000. I have a verbal recommendation for $4,351,000.
What is that based on?
That would be based on changing the area. Our leasable area, we noticed, is too high. So we reduced it to 53,115 square feet. And I also changed the cap rate from 7% to 7.5%.
What was the total number again?
The total number was $4,351,000.
She's gonna ask you to.
Oh, sorry. Yes, we accept.
You're accepting that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all sitting here looking at you like, oh, what?
675 Berry Street, and we're looking at assessed value.
The roll number is 07569135505675 Berry Street. The assessed value is $4,821,000. There are 14 premises to this property. The effective year and the actual year built are 1988, and the wall height is 20 feet. The land area is 115,637 square feet. It's got a plan area of 38,471 square feet. Same gross floor area and a leasable area of 38,152 square feet for a land to plan of 3.10. So on page 9, you can look at the location of this property on Barry. It's just off of it's by King Edward and Sargent and Ellis. It's in the St. James area. You can see the configuration of it from the street view on page 9. It kind of operates as a slightly like a retail center as well, where it's basically a flex warehouse. Page 10 will give you a better view of the property with the parking lot in the front, and you can see the access at the back. You can get the access off Berry Street to the rear of the property as well. You can see that on page 11. So the rent variables again are lined up with the premise. So they range from $7.25 a square foot all the way up to $12.50 a square foot. And the effective years built range from 1971 all the way up to 1998. And the wall heights range from 11 feet all the way up to 20 feet. And all these subjects, all the comparables are within the same area on Century, Dublin, Midland, St. James, Dublin, Century, Ellis, and Empress. So turning to page 4, you can see the income workup. We're using a potential rent of $358,913. We have a higher vacancy on this one, which is 7.75%. That would not be a model vacancy for this area. This was went in and adjusted due to some vacancy issues of this property. And then we have an overall capitalization rate of 6.5% for this property. So to give us a estimated value of $4,821 square feet, or not square feet, dollars, $4,821. So turning to page 12, we can see the mailer. So that's on page 12 and 13. There's also on page 15 a permit to show that this building is being upkept. The permit declaration is over $200,000 for this particular property. So it's for a new restaurant that was put in there. So we feel that the value of $4,821,000 is fair and equitable. Thank you.
Questions?
Just on the 7.75%, so that's, somebody just overrode the.
Somebody overruled the vacancy, yeah.
Okay. And that's all the questions there.
Mr. Lorendale.
I'm still trying to read this, but what did you say they did for the permit?
It's a restaurant. They
Well, they
put in a bunch of
So
Yeah,
the-
Dessert Plus is interior alterations for a new restaurant tenant to include new interior partitions, construction of kitchen area, dining area, washrooms, structural work to include installation of supports for 2 new rooftop units, mechanical, electrical, plumbing work. So basically renovated the whole premise.
Of the restaurant.
Well, made it basically into a restaurant.
And who would have paid for that?
I believe that would have been paid for. Let's see here. Well, it looks like it doesn't actually say, so I'm not too sure.
Well, the permit was applied for by the restaurant owner.
Yeah, the restaurant owner.
By the restaurant owner, right?
Yeah,
So probably doesn't really have any value for the building if the restaurant owner built it. It's got to be ripped out if the next guy comes in, right?
So you're saying that when the tenant comes in, pays for the renovations, the owner of the property doesn't have to put any money into it?
Some
And
cases they don't.
it doesn't add any value to the building?
Does it?
I think it does.
I'm asking the question.
Oh, well, I'm just trying to figure out your train of thought here. No, I think that does absolutely.
My train of thought is that no, if the restaurant owner paid for it and he's paying rent, unless he's getting less rent because he did the renos, we don't know that yet, do we?
No, not to my
We
knowledge.
investigate what kind of rents he was paying?
Well, the mailer is on the
Was it a fair market rent?
I believe it is a fair market rent. Let's take a look. We can look at the mailer.
It's sort of a catch-22, Stephen, when you get to some of these.
$11.50
It's $11.50.
that Desserts Plus is paying.
Hmm?
They're paying $11.50.
So they're paying a high rent.
Do you mind if I jump in here for a second?
Go ahead.
If you go on page 12 of the assessor's brief, you'll have landlord's work, $297,000.
Yeah.
So the permit was taken out by Hetman Construction, but the owner is Martin Eva and the tenant is Lisa Reese. So there was TIs of $41,000 on page 12 plus landlord's work of $297. So it might be a combination of both who paid for the renovations, and they are paying $11.50, which is high compared to some of the other
That's-
units. So
But that's why I'm asking, is there really truly a value to the land owner of the building for these renovations?
I believe there would be value to that. If somebody's coming in and renovating your premise for you, that would increase the value for sure.
Okay. I'll take that as your opinion.
And that's exactly what it is.
No
I've got no further
questions. I have none.
You have no questions? I have no questions. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Okay, on page 7, I got the copy of the rent roll there, and we come up to an overall rent of $358,008, and that's by using $9 on the vacant space, and the assessor's in at $358,913, so we're roughly $900 out on the annual rent. The next issue is vacancy. The assessor has applied a vacancy allowance of 7.75 for the subject. It was known in 2013 that a major tenant would be leaving the property when the lease expired. Light Visions Limited, who occupies units E, F, G, H, I, and J, 18,648 square feet, or approximately 48.4% of the total rentable area, had advised the landlord in 13 that they would be vacating. This tenant overheld at a lower rent until April 30th, 15. They vacated as of that date, as was fully known that they would do so. The actual vacancy has been as follows. In 15, it was 48, 16, it was 28, and at the end of 17, it was 14.6. Therefore, we're using, opposed to the assessor 7.75, we're using a vacancy rate of 10%. So on the rent, we're basically the same. Vacancy, we're 2.5% higher. Page 8, we're using shortfall rate of $3.75, 77% for non-recoverables, and we're accepting the assessor's capitalization rate of 6.5. On page 9, as a summary, based on our annual income of $358,008, 10% vacancy, 7% short non-recoverable, 375 shortfall, Oh, and we have other income. There's some signage income of $1,710. We have an operating income of $287,112, capped at 6.5. We're asking for the value of $4,417,000. And that's our presentation.
Question?
Just have a few, just on the leasable area, I think. We're off by a little bit, you and I.
9 square feet.
Yeah, but also, so you supplied the mailers from 2017 and 2016. So on page 21, they have the total at 38,003, which you're using. But then on page 23 for the 16, they have it at 38,551 square feet.
I don't know why there's a difference.
Okay. So you included on your page, page 9, you included other income. But they also have parking income for this as well on page 15 of your brief?
Yes.
So-
Yes, it's for parking and other rent. That's an additional roughly $6,000.
So would you include that to your NOI or?
Well, we added in, I can't tell you exactly the calculations, but we added for 1710 because there'd be expenses that come out of that.
Okay. Okay, those are all my questions.
No question.
No question.
I have no question. I believe this brings our hearing to a close. Thank you very much.
Well done, gentlemen. Heck, if I could run, we're gonna wait till they shut the mics off. Keep forgetting this room stays live. We have a remote.